Welcome to Monday Command. I'm your host, Reedie.
I'm Z, and we would like to welcome Mr. Lynnell Willingham.
Appreciate y'all.
What's up, bro? What's up, bro? A lot
Appreciate
of,
you having me on, man. Hopefully there's more of these to come after W's.
no question, no question. First, before we get started, we definitely want to salute your work. We follow you. Stay in tune with what you got going on.
Appreciate
You are
it.
definitely the youngest of child, and we appreciate your grind and your journey, and it motivates us to keep going as well. So we locked in, bro.
Appreciate y'all for sure, for sure. Appreciate y'all having me on.
No question.
So without further ado, let's get right into it. So Lynnell, what's your immediate reaction to Washington's dominant performance against the Titans?
Needed. You needed that. That was the only type of performance that they could have had that would have gotten me to forget about last weekend. Because I still look at last week as unacceptable, ill-prepared from a coaching standpoint, from an execution standpoint, coming off of a mini bye for you to come out flat in a divisional game at home and basically play as if it means nothing to you. That was disappointing, but they bounced back this week. I know the guys in their locker room, like a Bobby Wagner or Zach Ertz, some of the veterans they have were vocal this week, and it's how it should be every week. But I think the big difference Sunday was just a different level of execution that we just haven't seen over the past 3 games. I know a lot of people look at the losing streak and blame Cliff Kingsbury. If you blame Cliff Kingsbury, I think you don't know ball. So that's just my opinion. Maybe you know more than me. I doubt you do, but that's just my opinion. I think anybody that watched, it's not a Cliff Kingsbury issue. It's been an execution issue. And for this group to execute the way that they did against the defense that they did shows you that they were just tired of losing. There was a lack of focus over the past couple of games. And I think they were able to find that again on Sunday. You run for the most yards you've rushed for since 2012, and you were 9 of 14 on third down. I think over the losing streak you were 12 of 38 on third down, but you lived in third and short because you were able to have success on first and second down running the football. I think that is the straw that stirs the drink for the offense. It's all about, can they stay ahead of the chains? I was going back and forth with somebody on Twitter earlier today. Like, I think the junkies were talking about this, trying to not give Cliff Kingsbury credit. I'm going to say it here, and I love the way I clip stuff off and post. I hope this gets clipped off and posted. Cliff Kingsbury is largely responsible for the success of the Commanders' offense. He has created one of the most quarterback-friendly systems in the NFL, and it's no slight to Jayden Daniels. He has to go out and execute it still, and he does it at an extremely high level most of the time. But Cliff is making life easier for everybody. They're the most talent-deficient group in the NFL, and for them to be where they're at, it speaks to the coaching staff. And it's not just Cliff. I think Cliff gets a lot of the credit, but I know who designs the run game. It's really not Cliff. It's Bobby Johnson. It's Anthony Lynn. It's Brian Johnson. And it's in every organization. Your offensive line coach is extremely responsible for designing your run scheme. And if you watch the way Washington runs the football, they're as versatile and as multiple as any rushing attack in the NFL. I think it was Jeffrey Simmons yesterday post-game saying that, yeah, we just couldn't stop it. We know what they were going to do. It was gap, it's power, it's counter. We just simply couldn't stop it because they executed at a level that we just haven't seen. And shout out Southeast Sam is what I'm calling him from now on. Sam Cosby was ready to throw down, man. It was something I had never seen before, man. Sam Cosby, real. That's that Texas in him. He's not going like that. And I just think offensively, when you jump out on a team that early, you take away the other team's offense ability to have balance. So I think Tennessee wanted to be balanced attack, but obviously you saw it's hard to have balance and maintain your balance when you're down 3 scores. So it made the defense's life a lot easier. As far as their performance, still just not impactful enough for me, man. And I know people are going to probably look at this and say I'm being a hater or whatever. It's just being 100,000% objective. If they were playing an average quarterback yesterday, they would have given up 28 points. There were 4 deep balls that were just simply missed, not because of pressure, not because Will Levis was just so disrupted. He just missed because he's not a good quarterback. So I think moving forward, like obviously you're going to get Marshawn Lattimore back. That's your last game you play without him, most likely. Moving forward, man, I think the lack of their inability to prevent explosives in the passing game, I think may come back to bite them. What I did think they did well was play the run for the most part. I thought Johnny Newton and Deron Payne, while they may not show up in the stat sheet. I thought they played well in terms of not getting displaced by double teams. Thought that was something really good that they did. Carl Davis, who I had no clue who Carl Davis was, got activated yesterday in place of Darian Mathis.
Yeah, like why?
Out practicing Phil. That's what Dan Quinn said at the podium. It was just healthy internal competition. He's been playing better than Phil in practice. Carl Davis actually graded out as their highest graded defender on defense yesterday, which is ironic. He only played 14 snaps, though, but he had the highest grade on the defense. So, yeah, I still think that group can take their play up to another level. It's cool to see Bobby Wagner hit his milestone, but, you know, I think he needs the bye week as much as anybody. Just looks like he's getting a little slow in terms of scraping over the top and being the linebacker that we know he could be. But that was a bad offense. It's hard for me to judge the defense's performance yesterday because you went up against probably the most inept group in the NFL. And I thought that was Dallas, but then Dallas came to life against us. So we'll see. Defense has a challenge the rest of the way. I think the offense, though, if they can replicate the game plan, then, you know, we should see this to come.
Yeah.
So Jayden Daniels, 3 touchdowns yesterday, 2 passing, 1 rushing. What stood out to you the most about his performance after struggling in previous weeks against previous teams that they tout as some of the better defenses in the league?
I just think he was just in command and confident, like knowing what he was seeing. There was a play, I don't even know if it ended up being a completion. I think it was. Something we haven't seen him do a lot of recently here in this 3-game stretch is step up in the pocket. It feels like everything has been retreating. There was a play, I think it was to Zach Ertz, where he actually is able to step up into the pocket and deliver the football. I thought, you know, he has some balls he's going to want back, like the Noah Brown play along the left sideline. If he's able to get his base set, that's probably a touchdown. But other than that, man, I just thought he played well. His ability to make several guys miss the way he did at the goal line kind of just shows, you know, why his legs have to be a part of this. He's too dynamic of a runner for them not to lean on that. I know people are scared of him getting hurt. You can get hurt walking outside and going to pick up milk and twist your ankle on the concrete. So, like, I don't subscribe to that. I think if they're going to continue to be dynamic offensively, he's got to be a part of it. It makes Brian Robinson more effective on the dive stuff, and it just opens up everything for them offensively. I thought, you know, for him, though, one thing we didn't see yesterday was some of the pre-snap penalties that we had seen previously. I think their whole operation was just a lot cleaner. And he played well. I think his numbers on 3rd down, I think it was like 7 for 8 or 8 for 8. Wasn't asked to do a whole lot is what I would say, but I think you can only do what they're asking you to do. He was solid, pinpoint accuracy. Like it was what we're accustomed to seeing, but it goes back to my original comment. And this is why I feel like I give it to it rawer than anybody. They've made life easy for him. Like Cliff has simplified. I don't even want to say simplified because there's this negative connotation around the word. But like, there's an argument on Twitter. Like, I think Cliff is just doing such a good job. Cliff and the offensive staff of accentuating their strengths, doing what they do best, knowing their bread and butter. They run GT counter better than any team in the NFL. Talking about guard tackle stuff where they pull guys. They're hitting that better than anybody in the NFL. What you saw, too, though, was there are counters off of that. You saw play action off of GT action.
Right.
You saw inside zone stuff where they're able to get multiple. The Terry touchdown where he's on the right side is off of a play action fake because of how effective they were able to be in the running game. So I just think I said it earlier, like Jayden can win from the pocket all day long. With this team, he can't, though. They don't have the supporting cast to live in this drop back offense. I think next year, when you get an actual number 2 that can create separation and beat one-on-one coverage consistently, that's why the Brandon Ayuk thing is now funny. Obviously, he got hurt. If you see what Ayuk was asked to do last year in San Francisco when he had a career year, it was asking him to beat man coverage consistently. And he did it to the tune of 1,400 damn yards. So, like, in this offense, if they're going to have the balance the way they are, you're going to see a lot of man coverage. Terry's going to get doubled, and someone else has got to win. Noah Brown and company don't win consistently. The one thing Noah does do well is he blocks his ass off. Him and Diami, I thought, blocked really well yesterday. They were using them as lead blockers on some of these runs.
Yeah, I saw that.
Their willingness to get dirty I love that. So
yeah,
thought they were sharp.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job with like kind of on the whams and stuff like that. The tight end cracking on the 3 technique, and they did a good job of moving Terry around, getting him in some good positions to catch the football, instead of just keeping him on that one side of the field. Because you get down in the red area, most teams bracket Terry in the red area. That's what Dallas did, but for whatever reason, Tennessee decided not to do that.
Correct. And definitely, we talked about it last night, how effective the run game was, and it just opened up everything for us. With the injuries that we had with Eckler, and now, you got B-Rob. McNichols came in yesterday, was okay, but, C-Rod came in and 94 yards was with a tutty. That was pretty solid. Do you think that's sustainable moving forward as we go deeper into, a playoff push, or, like we talked about on our show? I would love to see us look at a guy like Leonard Fournette, or, just another running back to bring in a pro, a veteran, to help us out as we, fight for a spot.
That's why they get mad at us, bro. I said the same thing. There's no shade towards Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez is a 7th-round pick. There's a reason he was a 7th-round pick, right? He doesn't have the explosion, the vision that you need consistently to hit. He ran for 94 yards, but, he ran hard. One, I'll give him that. He hits the hell out of the hole. That's his best trait. He hits it. But y'all could have went out and ran for $150 yesterday. The holes were that gate. I think, that they're probably not going to look outside for help if they were going to do that. I think they would have already. I know they worked out Boston Scott, someone else. I think it was
James Robinson.
James Robinson.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
They're not moving the needle.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Facts.
I agree. I think Leonard Fournette would be perfect. They need another back that's in the mold of Brian Robinson. And Chris Rodriguez is, but he's just not. You can't teach me 6'2", 225 pounds. That is what B-Rob is. So I just think even though the running style is similar, it's just not the same. They need another hammer, but this is what happens when you're in year one of a rebuild. You can't create the depth across your roster that you need. That was another reason why I said, man, Friday I didn't see how they were going to win this game, because I didn't think, the running game was going to be as effective as it was. It makes no sense that they were able to run the ball the way that they were.
Yeah.
I was texting with Logan Paulson, and I said, man, this is probably the best offensive line performance I've seen since I've been watching this team my entire life. Everything was easy. And I'm not trying to take away from Brian Robinson. I'm not trying to take away from none of the backs. What the tight ends did, what the receivers did, and what the front 5 did, specifically the interior 3 of Biotish, Allegretti, and Cosme, who had gotten their ass whipped the past couple of weeks, didn't even look like a group that was interested in firing off the ball at times. For them to fire out the way that they did, and Southeast Sam doing what he did, I'm all for it, bro. It's sustainable if they're going to come off the ball that way. You have a bye week. I'm thinking you're going to be fresh. Hopefully they come off the ball that way against New Orleans, because that's another defensive front that, despite people not liking Chase Young and whatnot, Charlie's playing good ball. And so is their entire defensive front. So you got another task, but is it sustainable? I think so. It's just, what version are they going to be? Are they going to make the choice to come fire off and want to whoop somebody's ass? Or are they going to do this passive thing where they don't want to hit people? Because that's what I look at it as. It's a mentality thing for me, man. I don't know who led the pregame speech this week. Have him do it next week, because something resonated with him. I told you, I'm calling him Southeast Sam for a reason. Sam was about to fuck Jeffrey Simmons up.
Facts.
I saw that.
Facts, definitely did.
It was incredible to watch, man. Just watching that group do what they did. And then Brandon Coleman, one of these runs, took out 2 guys on a run. He hasn't been perfect by any stretch. He's a rookie still. He gets beat, but he's ascending. And I thought the big difference was their tackle tandem that started Sunday should be the tackle tandem that should have been.
I've been saying that all year. I think I might have messaged you early on, what are we doing with the whole Trent Scott scenario? Nothing against him. And then, with the Wiley thing, it was just Wiley was struggling. Why
he's
not
hurt.
Cornelius? Yeah, what's going on? I understand that.
Yeah, Cornelius, he always gives us good play. Either side. I don't think he's the guy to be the starter, but in a swing tackle position, I think he's a good person that you can sub for depth.
Yeah, for sure. But so just offensively and defensively, as we push down this stretch, what areas of improvement do you see? You can start either offense or defense, offense, however.
Offense, they just got to be consistent, man. Like, I know they came out in the third quarter and sucked. I mean, it just wasn't the
Facts.
same. They didn't execute the same level. So consistency is huge, and they got to have someone else emerge as a wide receiver. I know why Noah plays over Luke. Noah blocks. Luke doesn't. Noah has grown man strength. Luke is a kid, basically, so he's a rookie. So that's why he plays over him. I think that's like the big thing they're looking for is like, can someone else emerge as a target at wide receiver? Can we find different ways to get guys the ball? I still think, despite what everyone has said about Cliff, I don't think they've exposed and unleashed their entire offense. I think there are wrinkles that they're purposefully keeping in their back pocket to keep teams off balance when we get down the stretch. So I think just seeing the playbook continue to evolve and expand on offense is key. I think we need a place kicker. Like Austin Seibert needs to come back. I didn't think Zane Gonzalez was very good yesterday. They need a place kicker.
I've been saying he wasn't it, just off his previous stops.
The kicker thing is weird though, because like confidence is a big thing about that position. But that's my only gripe with the special teams. And then on defense, like I'm still not sold. I'm not. I can see through what this week was. This week was you going up against a team that could not stick with the run because our offense was that lethal. We saw that formula earlier in the year. Carolina marched the football down the field on their opening drive against us, but we forced a turnover, and then they weren't able to run it no more. Arizona, James Conner and company was running apeshit on us, but then we jumped out on them. They couldn't stick with it. There's issues stopping the run. They give up too many explosives. They don't tackle consistently. The defense still, to me, is not a playoff caliber defense, if that makes sense. Like I still see glaring holes that they have. Now, if adding Marshawn Lattimore back to the equation, I would hope changes things. And my thing that I would really be looking to do, and I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way, I don't know what my 3 cornerback trio is going to be once Marshawn comes back. Because I can make the argument that you should leave Benjamin St. Juste outside and kick Samerstill into the slot. He's a better run fit guy. Your run defense improves when Mike Samerstill is at your slot because he's tough as nails. He's taking on guards. And he's going to fit stuff. And the issue is with St. Juste is like when he gets his name called, it's never for a good reason. But if you watch the last 3 games, even going back to Pittsburgh, I'll be real with y'all. Like people are gonna eviscerate me. He's been our best corner this year from a consistency standpoint. He just has been. Mikey Samerstill's giving up touchdowns. Mikey Samerstill gives up receptions. Benjamin St. Juste also, doesn't get thrown to as much because they don't want to throw at him because he's blanketing his damn receivers. So I think the narrative on him has become so unfair. Now he don't got no ball skills for to save his life. He can't track the ball to save his life. That's what he's bad at.
Yeah.
But like from a coverage standpoint, like he's probably been your best corner this year. Like that's not to take away from Mikey Samerstill. There are other things that Mikey does that makes him pop, like playing hard, playing through the whistle, the run fits. But like in coverage, it's not like he's sticky every time. So it's hard to do that. And all the corners will be benefited from a pass rush. Our pass rush sucks. It's not consistent. They don't generate any sort of consistent pressure. I know the sack numbers are what they are, but those numbers are inflated. I'll tell you, Fowler got a sack yesterday for a dude falling.
Yeah. They took it away, actually.
I don't think
they put it on the
took it
stat
away.
sheet.
Well, they shouldn't have because that's not a sack. That's not real football. But
it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting that you bring up that point about Mikey Samerstill because we were saying last night on a recap that he got beat on the touchdown and he got beat on one that was an overthrow.
Week, I mean, he's a rookie.
And the narrative is like, oh, everybody's just like, okay, well, he's fine.
Yeah.
But if it was St. Jude, they would be saying, why is he on the field? This, that, and the third. And to your previous point, I don't agree. I think St. Jude is better inside because if we go back to his rookie season, he was on the inside, and I felt like he did a good job on the inside. I don't think he's made to be on the outside. I would rather keep Mikey there, even though he gets beat from time to time or whatever. He may be out of position. But I just feel like it's better. He's he has better ball skills in attacking football when it's in the air than St. Jude.
I agree. Totally.
Well, I just wanted to know your thoughts on what changes in the defense. And like, you know, the first 4 games, 3 or 4 games, the defense sucked. They have improved. But I think we're getting a Marshawn Lattimore. What do you think that does for this defense? Because he can really lock down one side of the field.
Yeah.
You could bring, instead of playing too deep, you could bring one safety down in the box to help out in the run game. And they've been blitzing Jeremy Chin a little bit more and letting him attack. I thought he was a better blitzer when he was in Carolina. So I just want to know like your thoughts of that. Like, what does Lattimore do for us overall? Does he push us over the hump where we can be a playoff caliber defense, or do we stay the same?
It just depends on who else is going to step up. Because I'll be real, like, Jeremy Chin didn't play well yesterday. But being honest, like, Chicken Conquo took his ass to lunch, like, multiple times. Like, he was asked to match up man-to-man against a super athletic tight end, and you saw where he has his deficiencies at as a coverage guy. But I think with Lattimore, it just opens up what Joe Witt wants to do. When they get their actual personnel in here that they want, this is going to be a man-to-man team. They're going to put bump and run, physical man-to-man coverage at the line of scrimmage. I think Lattimore allows you to begin to do that. I also think what you said, Reedie, is true. So Washington, I haven't looked at it this week, but they were playing a light box, 4th most in the NFL. Meaning they're living in this too high look because they have zero faith in their corners on the perimeter. Is why they play off coverage so much too, because they don't want to give up the explosive play. And to their credit, like, they really haven't given up the explosive play. But when they do, it's like, how are you doing that when that's literally your number one goal of this defense, in my opinion? It's not give up the explosive. So I think it allows you to play more man. I think it drops a man into the box, like you said. And I think that is probably their biggest issue with the run, is not having enough. Because what everyone's doing, if you watch, they're double teaming on the interior and they're climbing up to the back. Part of it is the D tackles suck. Like, they ain't Deron Payne hasn't played well all year. Johnny Newton's not really playing well. Phil Mathis, that's why I was shocked that Phil Mathis got sat down. Phil Mathis, I thought, was playing the double team better than all of the defensive tackles because of his size, right? But they got to get a different style of defensive tackle, I feel like. If teams are going to, like, double team you the way that they are, you need a space eater. You need, you know what I'm saying, a Terrence Knight. So obviously, I'm not talking about Terrence Knight, but you need that type of defensive tackle. The other thing is, too, like, the linebackers are a big part in the run defense failing, too. I love Frankie Louvu as much as an X guy. I think he's better as an edge than a linebacker. From a run game standpoint, from a pass coverage standpoint, like, he guesses wrong too many times. And he plays fast, though, right? So you always say, coming up, right, in Little League, high school, college, whatever, you can make a mistake, but make it 100 miles an hour. Frank Louvu makes a lot of mistakes at 100 miles an hour, and it covers up that he even made a mistake playing so hard. Him and Bobby playing the run, they're catching guys, it feels like. Everything, they're not playing downhill.
They're not attacking
but it's hard to play downhill
exactly
when the D tackles are getting pushed into your lap. So, like, I don't know if adding an extra man in the box is going to fix it, if I'm being real. I don't know if this is a schematic thing with what they ask you to do in this defense, because Dallas couldn't stop the run either last year. I mean, that was their main problem on defense. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it gets fixed. I do know, right, another Lattimore beneficiary of that, right, is they're going to blitz a lot more too.
Correct. Yeah.
I think if you're able to leave your corners on an island and blitz more, you know, you may blow up some of these runs just by having guys in the gaps the way that you're supposed to. And I think your pressure and your pass rush improves as well. Like, it's a lot with the run defense, man, because it just is exposing the deficiencies of the roster. Like, Dante Fowler's having a career year. There is no team in the NFL that would start Dante Fowler as their every down defensive end. He's too small. He just is. And you saw it yesterday. The runs that got hit to the perimeter are what? Dante Fowler getting swallowed because he's 6'2", 260. Like, he's not an edge setter. And I think that's the big issue with our run defense too. We don't have an edge setter. Cleveland Farrell's supposed to be that guy, but Cleveland, I don't know what's up. Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. I think our best complete edge right now is Knight.
Armstrong.
Javon, I think it's Armstrong, and Jean Baptiste has been my man since camp. Because I was watching him in camp whip people's ass. I went up to the Jets during practice, and he was the main guy that was flashing, getting pressure. So his injury, I know, slowed him down a little bit. But you notice he plays a lot because they like him. I think moving forward, he should be the every down defensive end, like on first and second down. I think they got to play Dante Fowler in more pass rushing situations where he could use his athleticism. Because if I was a team, I'm running at Dante Fowler. I'm running stretch all day long.
Yeah.
I'm running zone scheme, and I'm kicking him out because it's not hard to do. So, long story short, right? A long-winded answer was like I just don't think they have the personnel to be a good run-stopping defense. They just don't have the right pieces.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
reading.
I'm glad that you said that because I
was
said
about
they
to
were
say, he
catching
brought that up
tackles,
last night.
and it's like the linebackers are not taking re-steps going forward; they're going backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bobby Wagner is the first ballot Hall of Famer, 100 tackles, 13 years in a row.
Yeah.
Why are you backing up in the run game? Like I just couldn't
the
understand
tackles
that.
getting pushed into him partially. I think that's a big thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was saying just to try to defend Payne a little bit because Reedie was saying that he kind of snuck it in there multiple times this year, and he posed the question again last night, like, "What's up with Payne? What's going on?" And from my interpretation, I listened to Joe Witt kind of early on in the season, and he was just talking about like the D lineman, you know what I mean, them doing their job, controlling the gaps, you know, the typical stuff they want the tackles to do. But you know what I mean, and he was saying it's not in his scheme. They're not going to show up on the stat sheet like that. So that's what, you know what I mean, I kind of basked in that thought and just figured that, you know what I mean, because like you said, they struggle in Dallas as well. But it's like, damn, what really is going on? But I don't know if Payne is a true fit for what Witt really wants to do.
I don't know how good of a football player Deron Payne is, man. I'll be honest. Deron Payne's been on a milk card. Even in the scheme last year, what did Deron Payne do? Ever since he got paid, the production hasn't been there. My thing with him is he doesn't play the run well. Like he gets moved. You can't get displaced by double teams.
Yeah.
It messes the whole. When you get pushed 2 yards down the field, and now you're in the linebacker's laps, and it's a shutdown effect. Joe had also mentioned him again a couple of weeks ago, and someone singled him out. Like the question singled him out, but Joe Witt ended up calling out the whole defensive front because he's not going to call nobody out publicly. But like Payne will tell you, man, Payne's not playing worth a damn. I'm gonna be real with you. Payne's not playing worth. I don't think any of the defensive tackles are playing well. And I really like genuinely, even Johnny Newton. Like I genuinely mean that. Like they don't. He doesn't have. First of all, he's young, and he's not as strong as he needs to be at the point of attack. That's the bigger issue. And then just giving up space, man. You can't get blown off the ball the way that they do. That's why the Dallas thing was. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah.
You had two backup guards and a rookie
makeshift line. Yeah.
Blowing your ass off the ball, man, and averaging 4 yards a pop. That can't happen. So I don't know what the solution is to that. They got rid of all their big space-eating D tackles. Phil Mathis ain't active. They traded away Ridgeway. I don't know, man. They just don't. I continue to say that they don't have the right person, and I don't know if I don't know how they're coaching it up either because it's very easy to. I'd rather coach a dude up to fall in the gap, literally.
Yeah, I'm about to say they used to
like
teach us. They used to teach us if you get moved, just fall down.
Yeah, it's a corkscrew technique too, where you literally twist and you get on one knee and you're in the gap. And that's the problem is they're getting moved out the gap too easy.
Yeah, I think guys too prideful to pull that fall.
Yeah, but like, the play don't matter.
It must be too prideful.
It's just the play does not care who makes it.
Mm-hmm.
No fuck you have do your 111, man. They got ego.
Yeah, for sure.
They missing John. I'll tell you that. John, I know that's one thing that John was good at. John isn't going to get blown off the ball, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. Long story short, I don't trust the defense still. That's not a trustworthy group.
Yeah, no question. And if you had to pick an MVP, offense or defense, this year, who would it be?
For the year?
Yeah, thus far.
On both sides?
Yeah.
My offensive MVP. My offensive MVP is Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff is dialing that shit up, man. I'll say the offensive coaching staff is what I want to give everybody their proper credit because I know they all play a hand in it. But what they were able to do for 9 weeks, making chicken salad out of chicken shit, is amazing. This is one of the most talent-deficient offenses in the NFL. And for them to be as highly ranked as they are and as efficient as they are, it's a testament to the work that they put in and how they're calling stuff that the guys are comfortable with. I know all the players talk about Cliff's lack of ego and how if y'all not good at running something, why I'm gonna call it. It seems like it's simple, but like people try to, coaches have pride and ego too. They want their scheme to work. They think it's my scheme, my scheme, my scheme. But what Cliff is showing you, he says it all the time too, players not plays. He's putting them in position though to where they're able to feast. And I think if y'all don't think he was being spiteful lining up Terry on the right side yesterday, then like
exactly, like
you're
first play.
being oblivious. He
Yep.
hears it. He knows what's going on. That's the only criticism I think people can have of him is the lack of movement for Terry. But the thing that people don't understand is when you move Terry around, maybe somebody else doesn't know the other spots well enough.
Correct.
To be able to play and be able. You got to be smart to be able to play all the spots though. But the offensive coaching staff would be my MVP. Them and Jayden Daniels would be like co-MVP to me. I think they're just dialing it up to a crazy level. And then on defensive MVP, I would probably go with Quan Martin or Frankie Louvu. That would probably be two of my dudes. I think Quan has just been steady because he's playing the deep safety role. You don't hear his name called a lot, but the reason that there aren't a lot of explosives being given up is because he is an eraser back there. Like he's making up ground. He knows when to cheat. He knows when to lead a hash. He watches the quarterback's eyes well, and then he tackles. Like he doesn't miss a lot of tackles. He's probably one of their more sure tackling dudes. I think the energy that he plays with is great. And then if we had a real linebacker, that's why I'm like, what's up with Jordan McGee?
Yeah,
let
like
Louvu just roam, man. Let Louvu play on the edge, let him guard the flat, and send him towards the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like Jordy is
let him be Micah Parsons.
I ain't trying to swear too much. That motherfucker, boy, he just played the game different, man. He's a crash dummy, but I like him.
Yeah, facts.
He really doesn't care.
Facts.
I think Jeremy Chin could get some love for that too, though, man, because there's not a lot of starting safeties playing on special teams. And talking to him earlier this year, he was like, man, to us, like, that kickstarts the defense. When we come down and make a big hit on special teams on kickoff, we're coming out and trying to hit people. Joe Wick keeps saying it, and I give him his credit. They run and hit. They play fast, but they just aren't talented for the most part. That's the big thing, but I think the defense, those would be my MVPs. Like Chin, Louvu, Martin, I think are probably giving you your most consistent play. Mikey, I can throw in there too, but I'm being spiteful with Mikey because people act as if you can't say nothing bad about the guy.
That's facts.
I'm glad we on the same wavelength with, your first two, Frankie Louvu and the safety, because Z seems to think that Dirk Force, why is he getting more time? And I'm telling him that's why he's not getting no time because
they're just playing really well.
Is playing his ass off.
Yeah, they just playing well. They can play Defoe though. I think Defoe is exactly what they want though. He is a crash.
Yeah, they rotate. He talked about how we getting bodies and you got 11. You're getting 30 guys playing a game and not Defoe. Like what's going on?
They don't trust him over the top. I don't trust him over the top. We've seen
I don't either.
The Bears game, was it 2 seasons ago what he did? Yep. Like, I don't trust him in coverage. Yeah, in the run game, he might help you if you drop him down in the box, but other than that, up high, hell no.
They need to tell him put on 30 pounds and turn into a linebacker.
Yeah.
Like, he can hit. That's one thing about him. I like the mentality. That's why he made the team. Like he's a go-getter, man. But he's on every special teams unit. Like
every special team. He's excited about it. When you look at him, you don't see him down about nothing. He just shows up to work happy every day.
Playing his ass off. You saw it last year, man. Like Quan can go. Quan has the dog-like mentality, man. So love that.
Yeah. But to me, Defoe's not even better than Butler. So how can you
notice that Percy hasn't even been playing? Did Percy play yesterday?
Yeah, he came in. He came in when Quan got out.
He came in.
Quan got the injury.
I like Percy. I just think he's small, man.
Yeah, he got range. He's
just too small for me. Like I don't like him in the run game. I know he's gonna try. I just think he's too small. Quan got ran over yesterday, though, man. That was crazy.
He got injured on that play too. I'm like, damn. No question.
Appreciate you, Lynnell, for getting on.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. They gotta get to 10. I just hope they don't come out of the bye flat because New Orleans is not no pushover. Like they don't have a pushover left on their schedule because you lost to Dallas. So I'd be damned if you called them a pushover.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins is gonna come with a vengeance.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna lie. I think we probably not gonna see Kirk, man. We're gonna be seeing Pennick.
Well,
which is even worse for us because that dude, Yeah.
Yeah.
And then against Atlanta, though, bro, you think we're gonna stop their run game? Hell no. I don't see it, bro. I don't. That's why, like, I look at Atlanta and New Orleans. Like, they run the ball. It's not a it's not a choice. It's a lifestyle for them. Like, that's what they do. So I don't know, man. That's still to me my big issue. Like yesterday, I know y'all saw it. The lead is the only reason they stopped running it. And they figured out, okay, we're probably not gonna run in the interior. They have nobody that sets the edge. Let's run it Dante Fowler. Take him out as a pass rusher if you got to play the run. So we're gonna see. We need a different
for sure. Big time, big time. Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold on to hopes that we can do more than 10, but because
I just don't see
the
it, bro.
7th seed, the way it's going to fall, like we may have to see, we probably more than likely going to have to see Philadelphia again, and I do not want to play them again.
I mean, if Joe Whittingham can't stop them after seeing them 3 times, he knows Kellen. Like, so they that's why I thought we had success against them. Like, they know Kellen. Like,
that's facts. Yeah, and I was hoping we was gonna be hosting a playoff game. Don't look like it's gonna be that.
Oh, the division's gone, bro.
Yeah,
Philly going to the damn Super Bowl, man.
Yeah,
Philly and Kansas City Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
But
It's gonna be crazy.
It is for sure.